Someone you love is cripplingly insecure. You're trying to reassure them, help them see their worth, and it's just not sinking in. What do you do? Gilmore Girls gets Therapized, Rory, and Paris. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to rewind the tape a little bit because I've done a bunch of other videos and I'm further down the line, and then I realized, oh, I meant to cover this. This is at the beginning of season 3. So Rory's still with Dean at this point. Oh, Dean, moment of silence for you. I will remember you. But Rory is in Washington, D.C. She's with Paris. Rory is pining for Jess and thinking about the forbidden kiss at Suki's wedding. Man, the drama is rich on this show. But as you know about Paris, Paris was Rory's school bully, and now they've become friends. And Rory understands Paris was a jerk to her because Paris is cripplingly insecure and hyper-threatened by almost everything and everybody. When Rory demonstrated to her, I'm not a threat to you, Paris just opened up and embraced her as her best friend, and now they're in D.C., and Paris got invited to dinner by a young man, and she is freaking out because guys don't ask her on dates. Here we go.
My plane gets in at 3.
I'm in at 6.
Red, purple, green, where the hell is it?
That gives me 3 hours to look presentable. Perhaps I'll go blonde.
I strongly request that you don't.
Afraid of change.
No, I just like what I have.
I like a man who settles.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Man, that whole exchange
Hey, stop
hits
being
differently
cute.
now, doesn't
I need
it?
help here.
I have to go. Paris is melting down.
Why?
She has a date tonight.
Really?
Don't sound so surprised.
How do you know he sounded surprised?
Because I'm a genius, Rory. I have deep and powerful clairvoyant abilities.
Oh boy.
For example, I can instantly deduce that when someone hears the name Paris in the same sentence with the word date, jaws will drop. Confused looks will cover faces. Words like how and why and quick, Bob, get the children in the minivan because the world is obviously coming to an end will immediately fly out of people's mouths.
I have to go.
You sure it's safe?
I'll be fine. I'll see you Friday.
See you Friday. I love you.
That's it. I'm shaving my head.
Gotta go.
And she doesn't say it back. Things to come. Dean, buckle up. Anyways, Paris is catastrophizing, right? That's the word for it. She is so convinced that no one could love me, find me attractive, want or choose my company. And not only is she convinced that that's the reality, she believes everybody else sees it too. This is an example of a warning that I like to give. Be careful that your subjective perspective isn't confused with objective reality.
My brain is playing tricks on me.
It feels very real to Paris because she's had negative experiences with boys and she's had negative experiences with peers, that this is what she's destined for instead of, okay, that's them. And that was then. Like, I could have a completely different future. I could surround myself with different people. Maybe I'm not worthless after all. Maybe I've just been surrounded by people who don't see my worth, including me. Now, this guy who's asking her out, he sees it. And he treats her really, really well. But she has got it in her head. And Rory is going to try and convince her otherwise. And man, if you've ever tried to counter somebody's deeply held beliefs, especially negative self-beliefs, it is an uphill climb.
Okay, Paris, you have got to calm down.
I had a black sweater, and now it's gone.
I'm not just talking about right now. In general, you need to calm down.
He's almost here. I'm not dressed. My makeup's not done, and I haven't gone through the Zagat yet to pick out a restaurant.
Why don't you just let him pick out the restaurant?
What if he doesn't have a Zagat?
Well, then he'll wing it.
Wing it? How come other girls get planned out dinners? Flowers, candy, rose petals thrown on the floor, and I get wing it?
Well, you don't know that you've got wing it.
No, I do. I've got wing it. I can't do this.
What?
Date. I can't date. I'm not genetically set up for it.
Not true.
I get no pleasure out of the prospect or the preparation. I'm covered in hives. I've showered 4 times, and for what? Some guy who doesn't even have the brains to buy a Zagat so we don't wind up in a restaurant that's really just a front for a cocaine laundering ring?
Sit.
Okay, again. Remember what I was saying about catastrophizing? I think the idea is if I imagine it and I prepared for it, then when it happens, it's like, okay, I already knew this was gonna happen. But the flip side of it is when you stay stuck in this negative mindset, when you stay stuck in the worst is going to happen, you keep yourself from enjoying the good that could happen or the positive that is happening. You blind yourself to it. And there is a middle ground. And the middle ground, of course, this is very cliche but very wise. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And there is no hoping for the best right now.
It's a dare. He was dared to take me out. I bet Trent Lott was behind this.
Trent Lott did not dare Jamie to take you out. Close. Jamie likes you, and he asked you out because he likes you. Now look up.
Maybe I shouldn't go. I mean, what if I fall for him and he doesn't like me?
Then you'll find someone else.
But what if there is no one else?
Then you'll buy some cats.
I wish I knew if he was right for me, you know? So I don't put myself through all of this for nothing. I mean, women fall for men who are wrong for them all of the time, and then they get sidetracked from their goals. They give up careers and become alcoholics, and if you're Sonny Von Bulow, wind up in a coma completely incapable of stopping Glenn Close from playing you in a movie.
I think you should wear your hair down.
I love that Rory's just like, at this point, I'm done trying to convince her.
How do you know if a guy is right for you?
You just have to feel it.
All I feel is my back breaking out.
You'll know, okay? You just have to let it happen. And then, probably when you're not looking, you'll find someone who compliments you.
Meaning?
Someone who likes what you like. Someone who reads the same books, or listens to the same music, or likes to trash the same movies. Someone compatible.
Okay.
But not so compatible that they're boring.
Someone
she's
who's
talking about Jess
compatible
now.
but not compatible.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you respect each other's opinions and you can laugh at the same jokes, but I don't know, there's just something about not quite knowing what the other person's gonna do at all times that's just really exciting.
Okay, little tangent. I do read the comments, guys. And so, when I talk about Jess, and I definitely, one of my favorite comments is Jono is giving off big dad energy, like big protective dad energy when he talks about Jess. And that's true. That is absolutely true. We've got a daughter who is, coming into adolescence right now. And I definitely see like characters like Jess, and I'm like,
Put us on high alert.
But some of you said, well, Jono, you don't understand what it's like to be an adolescent girl. And that's true. I do appreciate the writing in this scene for that reason. When she talks about the reason she's drawn to Jess and attracted to Jess, it makes sense if you're listening, which I am. And so I do appreciate that, even though he's still not my cup of tea. He's not. He won't be until Heroes.
Look, just have a good time, you'll figure it out.
And This Is Us.
Yeah, well, I hope I figure it out fast before I throw up. That's him.
Turn around.
Well,
Perfect.
promise?
Swear.
Thanks. Now get in the closet.
What?
If he comes in here and sees you, he won't want to date me anymore.
Paris, that's crazy. He's seen me. He's seen me for weeks.
Yes, in conferences, crowded lecture halls, badly lit banquet rooms with crappy food smells, not at night, when it's dating time and he's thinking about dating and you're standing there looking all dateable.
I'm not looking dateable.
Please? I can't risk it. At least if there's nothing to compare me to, then I've got a fighting chance. Please.
Okay. When you get home, you need to get a new therapist because the one you have is really not working.
This is a great line and accurate.
Thanks for helping me get ready.
Anytime.
That's really sweet.
Hi.
Hello. You look very nice.
Well, this is a really good sweater.
So, shall we get going?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Do you like Italian food?
I love Italian food.
Good. I've made a reservation at a great place. Or at least that's what the Zagat guide says.
You're perfect.
Hide in the closet. Here's a quick tangent. High school guys, if they're anything like me and my friends, swim parties, you go in the bathroom and you do like 100 push-ups before you go out there so you look as jacked as you can. We were all cripplingly insecure, like Paris, except for we were guys, and we had this one buddy who was on the football team and a wrestler, and whenever he showed up at the pool party, we just put our shirts back on. We're just like, at this point, this guy built like a Greek god. He's gonna make us all look bad. So I understand. That's one Paris point that I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that. I do love that Paris thanks Rory, and Paris is soothed just a little bit. In my experience with people, like all joking aside, and this scene is played for laughs, but to be that impaired and limited by the belief that you are undateable, unlovable, undesirable, unwantable is heartbreaking. And it's really painful. And frankly, I understand it by experience quite a bit. And when you're trying to reassure somebody like that, it can be very frustrating. But recognize that you're combating a lot of beliefs that only they can release.
That is not your responsibility.
But it doesn't mean that your words don't land or don't play a role in them finally coming to let it go and to see their worth. Just because we all ultimately are the ones who come to love ourselves, if we're going to be securely attached and if we're going to be emotionally healthy, we have to come to love ourselves. Sometimes we have to believe in the love others have for us until we can believe in it enough to give it to ourselves. And so Rory, it did take an awful lot of work. It's like the inverse of that moment in Avengers Infinity War when Tony's fighting Thanos and he gives it everything he's got and he finally cuts him and Thanos goes,
all that for a drop of blood.
It's the inverse of that because this is wholesome. But all of that effort for just a drop of reassurance, right? But it lands and it matters. And so for all of you who are struggling with your self-worth, I see you. I have experienced some of that. Know that your worth is innate. It's there. You have strengths, you have weaknesses, same as everybody else. So either none of us deserve love or all of us do, and that includes you. And for those who love somebody who is struggling with their self-worth, know that your efforts aren't in vain, even if sometimes it takes a lot of juice to move the needle just a little bit. What are your thoughts on this interaction between Rory and Paris and the counsel that I've given? Do you have anything to add or anything to correct? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of wrestling with insecurity and fear, I want to invite you to check out this video, Lorelai and Luke, why can't they admit their feelings? It's going to pop up on the screen right here somewhere. Until next time, folks, keep shining. We need your light.